Okay, think about it. You see it on your coffee cup, your phone, pretty much everything you own. It's a word we hear constantly, branding. But what does it really mean? In this explainer, we're going to peel back the layers of this super powerful concept and see how it shapes our world in ways you might not even realize. So let me ask you, what's the first thing that pops into your head when I say the word brand? For a lot of us, it's probably a logo, right? You know, the Nike swoosh or the Apple. But is that all it is? Is a brand really just a picture? Let's dig in. Well, the truth is, a logo is just the very, very tip of the iceberg. The real magic of a brand, the stuff that really works, lies way deeper. And this quote from our source material just nails it. The best brands do something incredible. They create an actual emotional connection with us, they build up our trust, and in the end, they become a real part of our lives. And that brings us right to our first section where we're going to explore what a brand truly is. Because you'll see the most valuable parts of a brand are often the things you can't even see or touch. Now, this is pretty mind-blowing. For so many of the biggest companies out there, their brand, their reputation, how loyal their customers are, the sheer power of their name, is actually worth more than all of their buildings, their factories, their products, all of it combined. It's like this powerful, invisible currency that really drives their success. Okay, so if a brand is this powerful, invisible force, what does it actually do for us, the people buying things? Well, it turns out that a strong brand has three really, really important jobs. First up, navigation. Think about it. We live in a world with just endless choices. A strong brand is like a mental shortcut. It helps you pick something out of the crowd with confidence. Second, reassurance. When you see a brand you know, it signals quality, it signals reliability, you know what you're gonna get. And finally, engagement. And this is where it gets really cool. Brands pull us in with their stories, their values, their whole vibe, making us feel like we're part of something bigger. So how in the world do you build a brand that can pull all that off? Well, it really comes down to two key parts working together perfectly: the thinking behind the brand and the feeling it creates. I like to think of it as the soul and the face. Let's start with the soul. Brand strategy. This is the why behind absolutely everything a company does. It's the master plan, right? It's built on a clear vision, knowing exactly what customers need and what makes the company different from everyone else. It's the invisible logic that guides every single decision they make. And now for the face, brand identity. This is the what. All the stuff we can actually see, hear, and touch. We're talking the logo, the colors, the packaging, the website design, even the way they talk in their ads. It's how a brand shows its strategy and its personality to the whole world. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The strategy is the soul, that internal compass that tells the brand where to go. The identity is the face. It's the external expression of that soul. You see, you just can't have a memorable face without a strong soul. And you can't really show off a strong soul without a clear face. They're two sides of the exact same coin. Okay, so now that we get the whole soul and face idea, let's go see how these things actually come to life out in the wild. We've talked about the theory, but how do companies put these ideas to work day in and day out? And the thing is, these principles are used everywhere. You see it in co-branding, where two brands team up. You experience it literally every day through digital branding on social media. It even applies to people through personal branding, to big movements with cause branding, and yeah, even entire nations with country branding. They're all trying to grab our attention and build a great reputation. But what about those huge companies that own tons of different brands? I mean, how do they manage all that without it becoming a giant, confusing mess? The secret is something called brand architecture. Think of it like a blueprint that lays out the rules for how a parent company and all its little sub-brands relate to each other. And there are three main ways they do it. First, you've got the monolithic model. This is where one big master brand is stamped on everything. Google is the perfect example. Google Maps, Google Docs, it's all clearly 100% Google. Next is the endorsed model. This is where a sub-brand has its own thing going on, but is very clearly backed by the parent. Think the iPad by Apple. And finally, you have the pluralistic model, where the sub-brands seem totally independent. I mean, did you know Kleenex is actually made by Kimberly-Clark? Most people don't. That's a pluralistic strategy working perfectly. So we've seen how brands are put together and managed, but where is all of this headed? In a world that's changing so fast, the rules of branding are always being rewritten. And it's all boiling down to one key thing: trust. Looking ahead, it's just not enough for a brand to sell a good product anymore. They have to stand for something. And that means creating deeper emotional connections with us, making sure their values actually line up with the culture around them, and constantly innovating, not just their products, but how they talk to us and interact with us. So if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. Branding is not some fluffy marketing thing. It is one of the most essential strategic tools any company has. When you do it right, it builds this deep, lasting loyalty that your competitors just can't copy. It's the ultimate advantage in a super crowded world. And that kind of leaves us with one final question, something for you to think about. Consider the brands you're really loyal to. As the world keeps changing and our expectations change with it, what do those brands need to do to not just get your attention, but to truly earn, and maybe most importantly, to keep your trust? Something to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me.